Selling a garment is only the first part of the process. The second part is delivering the garment. You need to confirm the fit and adjust any alterations that need to be done. Be sure to have a confident attitude and be thorough in your examination of the garments. The way you act in front of the client will transfer into the way he acts. The first step is to examine the garment on. Let's start with a shirt. Be sure the shoulders fit, that the sleeves are long enough. The overall appearance of the garment is pleasing. Examine the collar to be sure it's not too tight or too loose. Check the sleeve length, that the cuff hits right at the break. To confirm the fit of a trouser, be sure that the waist is the correct fit, not too tight or too loose. There's a pleasing fit through the hips and seat and through the legs. Check the trouser length to be sure that the break is what the client desires. Not too long, not too short. Confirm the fit of the jacket. Be sure it fits correctly across the shoulders, the sleeve length, and through the middle. That the shoulders are a pleasing fit across the back, not too tight, not too loose. Double check the sleeve length using your ruler to ensure that both sleeves are even. A common alteration is a collar roll. Simply push the extra fabric up and place some pins to mark the amount. Another common alteration is sleeve length. Roll the sleeve up to show the proper amount of cuff and pin that. This anchors the sleeve at the correct length. Use your ruler and measure from the tip of the thumb to the bottom of the coat sleeve. Transfer that measurement to the other side. This garment obviously has a sleeve that's too short. Simply use your ruler to measure down how far it needs to go. Make that mark with cross hatches to let out. If a coat is a little snug, unbutton it and measure the distance from the edge of the lapel to the buttonhole. Transfer that measurement to the side using your chalk, and remember to let a garment out, you make hash marks across the side. A collar standing away from the neck needs to be shortened. Pinch the collar so that it hugs the neck and make the marks. A garment that's too full will need to be taken up through the waist. Pinch the sides for the proper amount and pin so that the client can see the effect the alteration will have. Do that on both sides. A trouser that's a little too long can be adjusted by pinching the trouser at the knee to shorten it the proper amount and then pin that amount. This also helps the client visualize what the final length will be. A garment that's a little too loose in the waist is simply a matter of pinching the waist, the amount to take in, and chalking that. A waistband is a little more difficult to pin, so it's easier to chalk. To lengthen the garment, determine how much the trouser leg needs to be let out for the proper length. You can use a ruler for this, and remember to make the cross hatches to let out. Sometimes a trouser may be a little snug. If it's so tight that you can't get a finger in, you definitely need to let it out. Simply unfasten the hook and clasp at the front, measure from the button to the buttonhole to determine that amount, and transfer that to the back of the trouser at the center seam. Make the marks, and remember to make the cross hatches, meaning to let out. If a coat is too snug, there will be several things that give this away. The main thing is you will have horizontal wrinkles across the back. That means the garment is snug across the back and needs to be let out in the center seam. Bring it down through the areas that are too snug and make a crosshatch to end that alteration. A trouser that is too full in the thigh needs to be reduced. Simply pinch the amount that you feel would correct the issue and pin it so that the client can again determine if that's going to be the correct amount. Same for the waist and seat. If a garment's a little too full, simply pinch the amount that needs to be taken up and mark. A garment that is too snug through the legs can be let out on the side seams. Determine the amount to be let out, make the marks, again placing the cross hatches that indicate letting out. Remember, a client will react to a garment fit the way you react. He takes his cues from you. If the garment is off, no big deal. You can correct it with alterations. Don't feel like it's the end of the world, and he won't either. Make your corrections in a professional manner, being conversational and reassuring. For the most part, our garments are going to fit better than anything he's used to anyway. And always remember, examining each garment, that looks amazing. How does it feel?